Do you like a guy to be vocal in bed?
I love whenever Mike like talks dirty, and I love like enthusiasm too. Like I love whenever he makes noises, makes weird faces. Like give me all the weird faces.
Yes.
Occasionally he'll like talk dirty whenever he's like really horny, and I love that.
I just want guys to be more vocal in bed. It's so hot.
It's the sexiest thing.
It's
it
so
really
fucking
is.
hot. Like sometimes I'll look up there and like I've had guys where I'm like, are you breathing? Like, how are we doing up there? Like, are you awake? Like, what's going on? Like, make a noise. Like, breathe.
Please.
Exhale. And it's like, what is going on? And I wish, and I guess men sometimes don't know what to say. Like, I feel like sometimes they get too in their heads of like, the girl's supposed to dirty talk. But I'm like, even if a guy looks at me and is like, oh, fuck, baby, your pussy feels so good.
Oh
or like,
my God, that would be
I'm
so
like,
hot.
I just came. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm having an orgasm. But not enough men. Like, if you're listening to this, for the love of fucking God, coming from Alexandra Cooper and LANA RHOADES, please speak up. Please. And the grunts. Like, I've made fun of it because I just think it's funny. Like, sometimes guys have different, like, faces. And when he's coming, like, have you had the guys that are like, like, they're like having, like, an exorcism. They're like,
I would love that. Like, more expression, the better.
Right?
I love whenever they make an ugly ass face whenever they're like,
no, it's so true. It's like, as funny as it kind of is when you think back later when you're like sobered out of the sex,
so hot.
If he is like freaking the fuck out, I'm like, yeah, that's what my pussy just did to you.
Yes.
And it's like the best.
Yes.
So, but then I also think there are girls that, because I think guys would never fake that. So then girls who are known to sometimes fake orgasms, which like I faked an orgasm in my life. Are you fucking kidding? Of course. I will not sit here and be like, never in my life have I not faked one. Like I have. Not that it's not that I'm enjoying it, but I've been with some guys that I'm like, okay, this needs to like wrap up. I had great time, but like, let's go.
Yeah.
Everyone has. You've faked an orgasm.
Yeah, only whenever guys have like insisted on eating my pussy,
and
I want it to be over with.
And you're like, listen.
Well, I try telling them, I'm like, listen, let's just use my vibrator.
Right, like here you go, here it is. And he's like, no, my tongue can do it. And you're like, so it can't.
At first I try like, come on, just fuck me, come on.
You try to grab
but
them.
Then they're like, no, let me finish you, baby. Then I'm like, okay, I just came.
No, that is the fucking worst when you try to convince them. You're like, okay, fuck me. Like, and you try to do it so sexual, like they've eaten you out long enough. You're like, okay, yeah, now fuck me. And then when they're like, no, and you're like,
take a hint.
Take a hint.